What do you remember doing as a child when your parents weren't looking? Were you behaved, sweet children, or were you troublemakers and mischievous? If you were anything like me and my siblings, you were anything but behaved. My two sisters and I lived in the country and used our imaginations to entertain ourselves. We are definitely triple the trouble, and these childhood stories will give you a good glimpse of some of the things we did while our parents weren't looking. My sisters and I loved videotaping what we were doing on summer days while our parents were still sleeping. We would put on modeling shows from time to time. I love to do modeling shows because this was the only time it was okay for me to wear my sister's clothes. Most of the time, we would think of something really mischievous to do and record what we decided to do. Usually we couldn't get access to the video camera, but when we did, we made some pretty interesting home videos. One day, while my parents were still sleeping, we decided to put my middle sister's hair up in pigtails since her hair was the longest. The pigtails were for reins so we could ride her like a horse. I was the youngest and the lightest, so I got to have my turn first, while my oldest sister videotaped everything. My turn went without incident. Then it was my oldest sister's turn to ride and my turn to videotape. Everything was going well as the horse romped wildly through the house as the rider was yelling "Yee-haw" and "Giddy up" and snapping the reins to make the horse go faster. Suddenly the horse went to turn down the hallway to our bedrooms, when everything went horribly wrong. The rider and the horse tipped over. My sisters went crashing into the desk and making tons of noise. As quick as lightning, we ran down the hall, afraid Mom and Dad would wake up and we would get into trouble, as I was still taping the whole ordeal. On weekends, we had friends over, and we weren't allowed to play upstairs, so we always played downstairs or outside. One of our favorite games to play downstairs was what we called couch surfing. We would all line up and count to 3, then run as fast as we could and jump on the couch. The couch would tip over backwards, sending us all rolling off onto the floor. The object to this game was to see who could stay on the couch the longest before being thrown off. After 2 or 3 times, my parents would realize what we were doing as they would hear the couch banging against the floor and all of the laughter. Suddenly, we would hear Dad stomping to come yell at us. Hearing his footsteps sent us in a panic to get the couch flipped over right and all sit perfectly to watch TV. At night, we got sent down to the basement so my parents could watch their own shows that were not appropriate for us. I remember one night we were really bored because there wasn't anything on the television to watch, so we found a game to play. We found a cable hanging from the ceiling. My sisters both took a few turns swinging on this cable from the stairs. Finally, after them persistently trying to talk me into taking a turn, I mustered up the courage and took my turn. I grabbed the cable, pushed off the stairs, and yelled, "George of the Jungle!" Next thing I knew, the cable snapped and my butt smacked the concrete floor. My dad came flying down the stairs because I was crying, and he no longer had TV. And we soon found out that was the cable for our parents' television. We got lucky while we were riding our horse because Mom and Dad never heard a thing, so we didn't get in trouble, but we were sure terrified. Other times didn't get so lucky, such as swinging from the cable and couch surfing. We usually ended up having fun together, but we were always very mischievous.